Hello and welcome to the Triple Spill. Three women, three perspectives, often from three different places, all talking about one conversation. I'm Rachel and I'm from Washington, D.C. I've lived here for the last 7.5 years, but British as you can tell. And I'm joined by Camilla, who is Swedish and lives in the UK, and Philippa, who is British and lives in the UK. We look forward to swapping stories, sharing laughs, but definitely spilling some truths about what it is to be a woman at this stage of our lives in this world we find ourselves in. Talking of spilling the truth, we are going to talk about pajamas today. Why do people wear pajamas in supermarkets? But before we do that, what's everyone been up to this week?
No, I've been in Exmoor. We've been dog sitting this week, so went to see a friend, and it was obviously doggy paradise down there. So that was really lovely. Drank too much, ate too much, so yeah, really nice. What about you, Camilla?
What?
I have been working, but also as we're in the midst of summer holidays, just trying to get some of those school stuff done, because last year I was completely gazumped by everything being sold out. So I'm trying to avoid the sort of last minute panic. So I've now got everything done, so I can tick that box. But yeah, just we've got some nice weather coming along, so really looking forward to that.
And I've just been to Montana, which has been absolutely amazing. And we did a cattle drive. So we had to, on horseback, so we had to move cattle from one field to another and then straight through a gate. Honestly, one of the best experiences of my life.
Did you wear your cowboy boots?
I wore my cowboy boots, I wore a cowboy hat. I looked the part totally. Whether the riding did what I needed to do. But if you want to go somewhere to avoid human beings, go to Montana.
Is there more cattle than there are people there, I imagine?
Yes. And more horses.
Nice ratio.
More horses, more cattle, and few people. It is perfect.
You probably get a more sensible conversation.
Exactly. Exactly. Anything that's irritated you this week? I mean,
thousands of things, but
I've just had one thing that I just have to share just to see if it's me. But what is it with husbands who look in cupboards and need instructions and assistance? There are 3 shelves in the freezer, and I get the question constantly, where is whatever we're looking for? There are only 3 drawers. Have a look yourself. Or if you're in the cupboard and looking for a crisp packet, why do I need to assist you with which one you should have or which one it is you're looking for? Just pull the packet out.
So I've always wondered about this, and I think this is literally everywhere, every male everywhere. And I've always wondered, is this down to parenting, mothers and sons, or is this down to actually a difference? Because I have the exact same thing here, and often it's right in front of them. And I think, well, if I can see it right in front of you, why on earth can't you?
I think it's a gender thing, because I mean, my husband's very intelligent, got a great job, but he cannot find his way around anything, and he seems to need assistance to find anything in the house. It's just like, you can run all these amazing projects at work, but you can't find an extension lead in the garage or something like that. It's just, there's always something that
but is it just that they're clever? Because how clever, how easy, like how wonderful. I do that with technology. I pretend I can't do a thing. I mean, with you and we all know that I actually can't, but I still pretend I can't to get somebody else to help me. No, so sometimes it's like, who is the fool?
No, it's a chemical thing. I'm absolutely sure of it. And obviously there's plenty of men out there that are not like this. But even things like, I do say to my husband that I wish I knew that your ears came as extra, because he just doesn't listen to anything. And then he'll say to me, oh, you didn't tell me we were doing this, that and the other. And I'm just like, and I look at the girls and they're just like, she did.
Anyway, just moving swiftly on to pajamas. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there are more and more people going to supermarkets wearing pajamas. What is going on with that kind of dress code, what it's acceptable to be wearing when you leave your front door thing? What is happening now in this world? Is it me just noticing it, or is this actually a thing? And is it becoming a fashion trend?
Well, I think there's lots of, I've been thinking about it, and there's lots of different things that have exacerbated this. And I think the thing that's put the fast forward on the most is since lockdown. I think since people have been working from home, they've got their comfies on, you know, because they're on Zoom calls, so the lower half doesn't have to be particularly smart. And I think it's just blurred the lines of what's casual and, let's be honest, or can't be asked. That's how I feel about it anyway. But I do think it's kind of because it's more socially acceptable to go out, and also from the fashion point of view, half the time you don't know if they are actually are PJs, or they're some expensive, you know, silk suit, or like I don't know if your girls were the same, but mine went through this stage last summer of wearing these stripy cotton trousers, and they look like pajama bottoms. And literally, they'd go out the door, and I'd be like, "You look like you're wearing pajamas," and it's just like, "No, they come from blah blah blah," and they are actually not like linen trousers; they're drawstring, stripy trousers, and they just look like pajamas. But so maybe it's a fashion thing as well. So
yeah, and I do think you said you've got something there about COVID, because we all just, in a way, everybody, which is a good thing, relaxed quite a lot about you know, just how we live and how we are and what we have to wear when we go out and what's acceptable. So there's one part of it I love. I mean, I think it's really nice that we're not all having to be, you know, suited and booted all the time. I remember many years ago, I went to New Zealand, and then the difference felt very, very big between the UK and New Zealand. And of course, America is a completely different story again, but they were very dressed down. I mean, it was a bit like, you know, put your shoes on, Sheila, you're going out. So there's something about it, all seems to be, everyone's merging with everyone now. And in America, as you know, it's sneakers. I mean, sneakers and pajamas. So you've not only got pajamas, but you seem to have the sneakers as well. So maybe this is the route we're going. Maybe we're looking back to a golden age where we all just, you know, put on lovely dresses just to go and get our bread in the morning. I don't know.
I think there's a difference. So I spoke to a few Swedish friends, because obviously I'm living in the UK now. It certainly wasn't a thing when I lived there. But it is the fashion trend around these sort of red striped pajamas, the almost flannel type, like that is a fashion trend. But what I'm seeing in the UK is not just the pajama bottoms, but it's the bathrobe and it's the slippers. And it's like they've left.
And the scrubbing brush.
Climbed out of bed.
It's not even just the pajama trousers. It's just we've now merged out completely in our dress. I saw somebody outside on my road who was in her bathrobe, in pajamas, in fluffy slippers at 2:00 in the afternoon. And it wasn't in the supermarket, but it still blows my mind. And it's just not the done thing in Sweden at all.
It's like, where's your bath? You forgot the bath. Just bring the bath and the scrubbing brush and your rubber duck. It's just mad. It feels mad.
But I wondered if it was an age thing, so like a different generation. Like my parents, you know, my dad would hardly ever go out without a shirt on, and now obviously we've relaxed. There's no way I go out in my pajamas, but my girls, no, they wouldn't, because they're not like that. But you just, they do sit in their pajamas all day, whereas I would never do that. And I found that.
So I agree. I mean, I think I'm even. My dad still wears a shirt and tie. You know, he's 87, and he grew up in that era. You know, but I think I've come from that. So even in the morning, I just get dressed for breakfast. I don't even wear my pajamas or, you know, whatever I'm wearing in the night for breakfast. So I feel that, you know, for me, it would be extremely unusual to go out in pajamas. I would feel, and also, don't you think that's the one time you see everybody you know?
Yeah, it's always when you have no makeup on, you think, I'm just going to go out quickly, it'll be fine, and you see your ex-boyfriend that you haven't seen for 10 years, and you just wish you'd had a full blow dry and, you know, a wind machine with you to redeem yourself. It never fails, does it?
No, absolutely.
It's always the way.
Yeah,
always the way. So
there's some cultural things, definitely, aren't there? In Sweden, it's definitely not the done thing. And one of my friends, when I spoke to her, she said they'd get a straitjacket on you if they saw you wandering around in your pajamas and bathrobe and slippers. But
I think it does come down to that whole dress code thing, one of the things that we've noticed a lot since living in the US is, we will go out to maybe a nice restaurant, and because of perhaps our culture, we would have got quite dressed up, and then we'll walk in, and it's, in some ways it's lovely because it's everyone's just wearing what they're happy wearing, but it can be a little bit sort of, I don't know, it feels sometimes a bit disrespectful sometimes if somebody's sitting right next to you and you've got really dressed up for a dinner, and someone's wearing sort of like, jeans that are hanging off their bottom and sneakers, and they haven't really, changed their top clearly for a few days. There is a respect thing to everybody else, isn't there? I'm not saying that happens all the time, and it happens in the UK too, but there is that whole dress down thing, which sometimes is a little bit, I don't know, it's not so nice. It's quite nice to dress up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When you go to a nice restaurant now, very often you can be next to someone in a pair of jeans. Yeah. And it's just like, that just wouldn't have happened. But I guess the question is, does it matter?
Exactly. I don't think it only matters because we're noticing it. It matters to us. It clearly doesn't matter to the people who are doing that. And I think this is the thing, isn't it? It's changing. It's like dress codes at work. Some of the, if you think how we were when we were in the, heart of the workplace, if you like, we were wearing dresses, jackets. We were brought up to wear heels,
shoulder pads,
and you'd never even. Gosh, when I first started work, I wouldn't even have thought of wearing trousers. And now at least people are getting dressed as to how they obviously need to dress to deal with the work that they're doing. But nobody's looking at it as much. So maybe that gives them more chance to be good at their job.
Yeah.
So they're not just constantly thinking about outfits.
Where does it go from here, though? Where does it go from here?
Pajamas at work.
Oh, God. What I do draw the line is when you see girls out with curlers in their hair. Oh. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
They literally go through the airports. And again, does it matter? But to me, it matters.
Probably not.
It doesn't matter. If they want to do it, let them do it. Everyone can do what they want, But I don't know. I think it's probably because I've got my mum's voice in my ear.
That's the thing, isn't it, Philippa? This is the thing. This is why I think I, get dressed for breakfast, because that's what I was used to. That's what. So maybe this is just a generation thing, and as you say, in 2 or 3 generations' time, people are just so relaxed. Or maybe people will look back to our golden days and think, actually, we need to sort this out and let's get smarter. The other thing is to think about is the fashion industry, because the fashion industry needs people to want to buy nice clothes. So maybe this is just a fad, and this is just something that's been influenced by the fashion world, and maybe that will be switched back again. Who knows?
I don't know. You also find that maybe it's you're more likely to be judged for it in certain socio-economic areas than you are in others. Let's be honest. Where I live, I'm very lucky. It's quite affluent. So if people do walk around in their pajamas and their sliders, then they're more likely to get a double take. But
so was there a supermarket in the UK, honestly, that actually tried to stop this? I have a slight recollection that some supermarket somewhere said, no more pajamas in the supermarket.
No pajamas.
Come in, lady. No
more pajamas.
We're not selling enough bread. So I wonder if something, that might happen. In some places, restaurants might start bringing better dress codes in again, because they've relaxed them so much over the last 20 years. So maybe that's what's going to happen. You can just imagine, can't you? If everyone starts going to the supermarket in pajamas, it's going to be a really strange experience.
Yep.
I can't imagine it. No, please. That's not a world I want to be in. Thank you.
I know.
I love a good pajama. I love pajamas. I could happily have a day at home in pajamas, but I could never wear it out.
Lots of my friends, they finish work, they come home, off comes the bra, on goes the jammies, and then they're in it for I just can't do that.
No, not me at all.
Even if I had a shower late at night, even, unless it's like 9 o'clock, I would still get dressed again before I go to bed.
Really?
Yeah. I know, it's odd,
me
isn't
too.
it?
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same.
It's really odd.
Is this a thing? Because this is not so alien to me, because I will happily come home from work at 5 and I will get my pajamas on. and I will just be the happiest. But I would never venture out into them. But it's sort of its home time. And if at the weekend, especially at Christmas, we do matching pajamas, this is like a whole thing.
Right.
You know,
so that's a different, I think that's a
different thing. But amazing. I will happily come home. I'm definitely one of those people. And I think unless somebody was at the door, I was expecting somebody, I wouldn't put my normal clothes back on again unless I had to go out. And that would be very reluctantly once the pajamas are on.
It's funny you should say that, because my, as you know, I've got 2 daughters, and my eldest daughter and I will literally sleep in whatever raggedy thing is lying around, like an old t-shirt, pair of shorts, and that's it, we're done. My youngest daughter has sets, and they bring her an enormous amount of joy. Literally. And she calls it, when she wears like a winter set, you know, with buttons up and the little pocket, I'm not sure what the pocket's for, but she calls it her formal wear. She says, I'm wearing my formal wear to bed. And she comes waltzing around the lounge, sort of going, isn't it lovely, isn't it lovely? And she's always saying, oh, I might get some more pajamas. So for her, it's a massive fashion thing. She just loves her PJs.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we might have done a huge amount of boost for the pyjama industry just now. So, so maybe rather than doing what we actually intend to do, which is trying to rid supermarkets of pajamas, maybe we're actually going to get supermarkets to sell more pajamas.
Well, maybe. Okay, so on Instagram, I put a poll up to see what people thought about wearing PJs in the supermarket, and I've had probably majority saying no, like not a chance. The odd few people saying yes, but this is the funny one, which you'll love, Rachel, because this is from an American.
Is it one of my friends?
No, but watch out, Tunbridge Wells, because me and Callie Casual will be a regular on the street soon. So there we go. She's going to be bringing the California vibe to Tunbridge Wells. So that'll be fun.
So who knows? But on that note, what are we going to talk about next time?
Well, sticking with the fashion trend a bit, but actually we're going to talk about fashion fails. We're going to look back about our most epic fashion fails that we've all had, but also talk about actually what are the things that are important now to us where we're at in life. What is it that is important? You know, what is it we're bringing out in this stage of our life? So it's a look back, but it's also looking forward and where we are now. And really looking forward to this one.
Can I make a request? If we're doing fashion fails, I mean, I've got a whole wardrobe of them. Can we dig out some old photos, please? Because I'd love to see your fashion fails.
Oh gosh, I don't know where mine are. They're in albums, aren't they? They're in albums. We don't have them on phones, do we? They're in
the fashion fail album.
We didn't even take. That's another thing. That's for another time. But we need to talk about photographs at some point. But anyway, that was brilliant fun. Okay, so that's it for the triple spill this week. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next time. Please look out for us on Instagram and make comment where you can. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.